How do we share money in a given ratio? So in this question, we're going to share £15,000 between John and Chris in the ratio 2:3. Because John's name comes first, he will get 2 parts of the money and Chris will get the other 3 parts. How many parts is that in total? All we do is add the parts, so 2 plus 3 is 5. So we're going to divide 15,000 by 5 to find 1 part. Okay, so 1 share, or 1 part, would be £15,000 divided by 5. So 1 part would be £3,000. If we know 1 part, how do we find the 2 parts that John would get? All we do is take our 1 share part and multiply that by 2. Okay, so to find the 2 shares, you would just do 3,000 times 2 is £6,000. So that's how much John would get. Chris is going to get 3 parts, so to find out the 3 share parts, we're just going to multiply the 3,000 by 3. Okay, so Chris would get 3,000 times 3, which is £9,000. To double check you've done it right, we're saying John's going to get 6,000 and Chris is going to get 9,000. All you do is add those 2 values together, and it should get you back to the original amount of money, which it does, because 9 plus 6 makes 15. So £15,000 is what we started with in the question. So all we've got left to do, so that's the amount of working, and all we've got left to do after that is explain who gets what. So your first step is to do 2 plus 3 equals 5. So add your share parts together. Then find 1 share part by dividing. Then multiply by how many share parts you need. So if the ratio was 4:3, you would find 4 share parts and 3 share parts. But because this ratio was 2:3, that's why we multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 3. And finally, we just have to write our sentence. Okay, so we just have to explain who gets what. So John gets £6,000 and Chris gets £9,000. And that would be, you answered that question. Okay, sometimes you'll get a question like this, where they don't tell you the names of the people they're sharing the money between. So it'll just say things like, share £32,000 in the ratio 2:1:5. So in this case, we just add the parts together to find the total parts, then find 1 share by dividing, and then multiplying back up by the 2 and 5 in this question, since apart from the number 1, there's a 2 and a 5 in the ratio. Okay, so the first step is 2 plus 1 plus 5 equals 8. So there's 8 share parts here in total. Our next step would be to divide the 32,000 by that 8 to find 1 share part. Okay, so 1 share would be 32,000 divided by 8, which is £4,000. Now we have to find out what 2 parts would get and what 5 parts would get. So let's multiply the 4,000 by the 2 and by the 5. Okay, so 2 shares would be 4,000 times 2, which is £8,000, and 5 shares would be 4,000 times 5, which is £20,000. Now the ratio was 2:1:5, so if we add the 2 shares, the 1 share and the 5 shares all together, we should end up with our total of £32,000. So let's check. So in this case, we need to add our 1 share on as well because the number 1 appeared in the ratio. So 4,000 plus 8,000 is 12,000. And then add on the 20,000, you will get back to the £32,000 you started with. So that's us nearly finished. We just need to write our answer up a little bit neater. Okay, and that's how we'd leave our answer. So we just say 2:1:5 equals £8,000 to £4,000 to £20,000. We can't say who gets what because we don't know the names of any of the people. So we'll just leave it in a ratio format like that.